Good evening. Welcome to World News. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. First, the headlines. Nigerian government orders immediate repatriation of Zimbabwean cleric. Algon, EFCC, partner on accountability, transparency. South Africa investigates alleged $7 billion corruption at state-owned companies. And on sport, Aqua United players undergo successful medical tests. Now the news in detail. The Nigerian Immigration Service has ordered the immediate repatriation of an Zimbabwean cleric Eben Nwitawi for allegedly violating immigration laws. This was contained in a statement by the Service Public Relations Officer Kenneth Udo on Wednesday in Abuja. Recalls that the cleric was apprehended by operatives of the NIS on August 24th in Yola, Adamawa, for allegedly violating immigration protocols. Udo said that the cleric arrived in the country on August 21st with a tourist visa meant solely for tourism purposes. However, it was discovered he participated in the church leadership election process. This in a clear violation of the terms and privileges associated with the tourist visa as provided in the Nigerian Visa Policy 2024. The Association of Local Governments of Nigeria has entered into a partnership with the Economy and Financial Crimes Commission to orient its members across the 774 local government areas in the country on procurement, financial spending, due process accountability, and transparency. This was contained in a communique issued to journalists at the end of the 49th National Executive Council meeting of the association held in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, on Wednesday. The communique was jointly signed by the Algon National Publicity Secretary Bala Chamu and the National Treasurer Gazal Babatunde. According to the communique, the NEC reached 7 key resolutions aimed at positioning the association to serve Nigerians better. The Correctional Officer, PENCOM Retirees Association of Nigeria, says the Contributory Pension Commission scheme is worsening the challenges of retirees. Copran, in a petition to President Bola Tinubu, Senate President, Speaker House of Representatives, Minister of Labour and Human Rights Commission, among others, said that pensioners were starved of their funds by PENCOM after retirement. The president of Copran, Plateau Command, Anthony Ayiwulu, said that the PENCOM policy, although made in good faith, has caused more harm than good to the public servant retirees, who were also called senior citizens. Ayiwulu said that there was an urgent need for the policy to be changed or reviewed for the common good and betterment of those concerned and for an effective result. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Please stay with us. Welcome back. South Africa has active investigations into alleged corruption totaling more than $7 billion at some of its top state-owned companies, according to a report published Tuesday by the National Anti-Graft Unit. The investigations are not new and some have been running since 2018, and all of them were cited by the Special Investigative Unit in a report to a parliamentary committee to give an update on the status of the probes. Those investigations involve 6 state-owned businesses: Port and Rail Company Transnet, Arms Company Dinel, Power Utility Eskom, the National Lotteries, and others. Around 60 suspicious contracts and hundreds of cases, conflicts of interest, and other alleged corruption worth nearly $4 billion of public money are under investigation at Transnet alone, according to reports. Egypt delivered its first military aid to Somalia in more than 4 decades on Tuesday, 3 diplomatic and Somali government sources said, a move likely to deepen strains between the two countries and Ethiopia. Egypt and Somalia have drawn closer together this year after Ethiopia signed a preliminary deal with the breakaway region of Somaliland to lease coastal land in exchange for possible recognition of its independence from Somalia. The Mogadishu government has called the deal an assault on its sovereignty and said it will block it up by all means necessary. Egypt, at odds with Ethiopia 4 years over Addis Ababa construction of a vast hydro dam on the headwaters of the Nile River, has condemned the Somaliland deal. It signed a security pact with Mogadishu earlier this month and has offered to send troops to a new peacekeeping mission in Somalia. We move to other parts of the world after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Britain and Germany's leaders agreed in Berlin on Wednesday to work on an ambitious treaty covering issues from defense to trade that will be part of a reset of British relations with the European Union. Prime Minister Keir Starmer's trip to the EU's top power, Germany and France, aims to help Britain move beyond the previous conservative government fractions relations with European allies. Starmer, who took office last month, has put improved ties at the heart of his effort to boost Britain's economic growth. He billed the new cooperation treaty as a once-in-a-generation chance to deliver for working people in Britain and in Germany, as it would deepen collaboration in science, technology, business and culture while increasing trade. Starmer said that growth was his government's #1 mission. The European Union and China launched the first discussions under a new system that aims to streamline cross-border data flows, the EU said in a statement on Wednesday. The mechanism aims to facilitate international transfers of non-personal data for European businesses while ensuring their compliance with Chinese data laws. Last year, after co-chairing an EU-China high-level digital dialogue, the EU had expressed concern about China's data laws, including their lack of clarity and the long processes that companies have to undergo. Thousands of protesters blocked train tracks, halted buses and shouted slogans in India's state of West Bengal on Wednesday in the latest demonstration following the brutal rape and murder of a trainee doctor. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Janata Party, which is an opposition in the eastern state, called for a 12-hour statewide protest strike after police fired tear gas and water cannon to disperse a march on Tuesday. Most of Wednesday's protesters were BJP workers who also forced shops to shut as authorities braced for more disruptions, with one police official saying 5,000 officers had been deployed to quell any violence. Up next is business. Please stay with us. Welcome back. And on business news, the Nigerian stock market on Tuesday continued its bullish run from its previous session by adding 271 billion naira to the portfolios of investors. This is the Nigerian Exchange Limited market capitalization opened at 55.166 trillion naira and gained 271 billion naira or 0.9449% to close at 55.437 trillion naira. The all-share index also advanced by 0.49% or 473 points to close at 96,510.13 against 96,037.28 recorded on Monday. The development comes as investors buy interest in Tier 1 banking stocks. Consequently, the year-to-date return rose to 29.07%. China launched an anti-subsidy investigation into dairy import from the European Union a day after the bloc's revised tariff plan for China-made electric vehicles. Wednesday inquiry targeting cheese, milk and cream meant for human consumption came after the EU amended proposed punitive duties on Chinese EV import to 36.3% from an initial 37.6%. Beijing had urged Brussels to abandon the tariffs. The CEO of one of the world's biggest dairy producers, owned by more than 9,000 dairy farmers in Denmark, Sweden, Britain, Germany, Belgium, Luxembourg, and others, said the company is not directly impacted by China's anti-subsidy probe. The discovery of an increased reserves of crude oil in Namibia has sparked interest in Namibian assets, with an index fund tracking local government bonds poised for its biggest annual jump on record. The exchange traded fund tracking local government bonds is listed on the Namibian Stock Exchange and in South Africa and has jumped over 20% in US dollar terms since Portugal-based GAP's discovery in April that the Mopane field could hold at least 10 billion barrels of oil. Since then, there has been interest from at least 12 other oil majors. The fund is on track for its biggest annual gain, nearly 12% in US dollar terms. Meanwhile, an ETF tracking the closely watched JP Morgan Emerging Market Bond Index has gained 3.6% year to date. Yields on local sovereign bonds have dropped further following the discovery, with those on bond maturing in 2037 declining around 150 BPS since April, while those on papers maturing in 2050 down around 200 barrels per second. Still to come, sports. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. And on sports news, Akwa United players have undergone successful mandatory medical tests ahead of the 2024-2025 Nigeria Premier Football League season. The club's head of medical department, Obot Jackson, revealed that an electrocardiogram ECG test was carried out on all the players to detect the electrical signals produced by the heart each time it beats. Jackson noted that it was necessary for the club to know the heart condition of the players before fielding them for matches. A former Nigerian boxer and first ever Olympic medalist, Nojim Mayogon, has died at the age of 83. A confidante Rudolphine F. Sultan confirmed the death of the boxer in a social media post on Monday. Mayogon took his last breath on Monday morning at his base in Vienna, Austria. Mayogon was reportedly battling an unnamed illness for a couple of months. At 23, he won Nigeria's first Olympic medal in the light heavyweight boxing category at Tokyo 1964. Manchester City have confirmed that defender Cancelo has left the club to join Saudi Arabia's side Al Hilal on a permanent transfer. Pep Guardiola's side disclosed this in a statement on their website ahead of their Premier League clash with West Ham United on Saturday. Cancelo joined Man City from Juventus in summer of 2019. The Portugal international had loan spells at Bayern Munich and Barcelona in the past. And that's the sport news on World News. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now to the rest of the news. U.S. prosecutors have issued revised charges against Donald Trump for the former president's alleged attempt to interfere in the 2020 election after losing the contest. The updated warning tries to navigate a Supreme Court ruling that presidents have broad immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts. The ruling has thrown this case into doubt. Trump denies accusation that he pressured officials to reverse the result, knowingly spread lies about election fraud, and sought to exploit a riot at the U.S. Capitol to delay the certification of Joe Biden's victory. It appears unlikely the case and other criminal cases he faces will reach court before the next election on 5th November. And that was world news. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that Nigeria government orders immediate repatriation of Zimbabwean cleric. Algon, EFCC, partner on accountability, transparency. South Africa investigates alleged $7 billion corruption at state-owned companies. And on sports, Akwa United players undergo successful medical test. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hillstv Abuja, Instagram at Hillstv Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hillstv. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. Thanks for watching.